That said, right, like, I mean, I don't think I don't see us as having competitors. Like, I don't see the other NFT gaming companies that are out there I don't see those as our competitors. I see our competitors as things like Uber, and Netflix and then Airbnb. Like, our competitors are, I think, like, that's how I only look at it as our competitors as things that are much larger than us, actually. So yeah, but yeah, I think, it's a balancing thing, right? We want to give leaks and keep up the excitement, but we also want to retain a lot of excitement for the launches, and we want to really delight and show things that are new. Yeah, could we do more leaks? It's possible, like, right? That's definitely something that our community always asks for, but right, like, it's a balancing act where we don't want to necessarily give them out like candy, or water, right? Because then it kind of cheapens them. So.
Well, shout out to Madfish C on Reddit, because his really thoughtful question posted 15 hours ago: when leaks? So there you go. You're right on the pulse with the community, Jeff. Very good.
Amazing. That's really deep. I'm glad we managed to cover that in the stream.
Oh my. So how about balance patches? It's been a little while since we saw a big balance patch. Maybe worth reiterating here as well. Big responsibility, right? In a game where Axies are assets and people are making investments, buffs and nerfs get a little bit complicated, and there's just a high degree of responsibility that comes along with making those changes. Can we expect a balance patch? Are crits ever going to be changed? I can't tell you how many emails and inbounds I have of people complaining about crits, Jeff.
Yeah, so balancing is something that we take really seriously. I believe it's actually something that the community has a lot of say in. Why? Because when we're balancing, we're looking at the data that's created by the community, right? So if people are using things like too much, or just very, like, it's just apparent from the data if something's a little bit too cheesy, a little bit too easy to use, or something that makes the game a little bit unfun. So yeah, we're looking at doing a balancing patch for season 19. We have an internal deadline for when we want to launch it. I'm not gonna leak it here, just in case as things pop up. We actually have like a kind of a crowded schedule. But yeah. Yeah, we expect to do a balancing. It's very, like, right, like, combination when we balance the data as well as, right, like, combination of the data as well as, right, some of the feedback. So yeah, we're really excited about it. I do think that around the balancing is important and necessary right now, to keep the game a little bit fresh and fun.
Yeah, Sirius has only been the best card in the game for how long now? Certainly since the entire tenor that I've been aboard.
I'll admit that balancing energy, anything to do with energy gain or steal and poison, these are some of the hardest things to balance.
Yeah, energy steal specifically, because it's a swing, right? It's a -1 and a +1. It's like energy swing can make or break matches just in a single card play. I want to go back to Collabland real quick. We touched on it very briefly in another answer. You guys mentioned that this is part of the future of Discord, right? This allows us to set these special permissions where it looks at wallets and says, oh, hey, you've got 3 Axies. Okay, now you get access to general. Is there more that we can expand on this? I guess I want to give a quick PSA and make programmatically pull happy. Reminder, never enter your seed phrase on any website. If a website asks you for your secret recovery phrase, that is the 12 English words that back up your wallet. It is a scam 100%. If anyone's asking for it, that should be your #1 red flag that they are trying to steal your stuff. So stay safe out there, folks. Keep that secret recovery phrase a secret. That's why we renamed it from seed phrase to secret recovery phrase. It is the skeleton key to get into your wallet and all of your holdings. You need to keep that thing safe. You got to back it up. If your house burns down, you're going to want to have a copy somewhere else. Go play that. Somebody said their house burned down, they lost their computer and their backup secret recovery phrase. That's it. Your stuff's gone. So seriously, treat this stuff with the importance that it matters. But yeah, Collabland. What else does this open up for us?
I mean, before that, I also want to want to reiterate what you said. When we look at the data for, when we see how many people are new to crypto and Axie, it's around 50% have never had a private key, they have no idea or secret seed phrase. They don't know anything about crypto. They come into this because they see that it's a new opportunity. They want to learn about new tech. Friends to come into this ecosystem, I actually feel like you have an obligation to teach them a little bit more about like behaving responsibly online. Like, this is a brand new way of owning your assets. The fact is that when you're using crypto technology, you are responsible for your own actions. Now, that means that there are really, really nice benefits to it. That means that we can do some really cool stuff, but it also means that there's a lot of responsibility here. And I think that that's important to touch on, because we can't give you back your assets if you lose them.
Yeah,
that's just a fact.
It breaks my heart every time somebody says, well, you guys have made such an amazing game. Surely you can create some amazing way for me to recover my stuff. And that's just not how blockchain works. I'm complimented that you think we're skilled enough to do that, but that would require like hacking the blockchain. Like, that's the whole point of this immutable ledger. It's immutable. If we could just change it, then we wouldn't be doing anything novel here. So anyway.
Yeah, I think, touching on what you said about collab land, it's actually a way for people to show others, like when they have these tags, that they have some real skin in the game here. What we found on Discord is that there's oftentimes a lot of noise from people who might have other motivations to, negative Axie. When you see economy channel and like the trading channel, you might see that people have very strong opinions about Axie, about why it's going to go up, why it's going to go down. But it might turn out that they don't have any skin in the game. They don't own any Axies. They don't own AXS. And they're actually there to function or to freak you out about something that, is irrelevant in the long term. Like, there will always be bad and good things that happen. But at the same time, you really need to be careful about where you get your information. I mean, as humans growing up on the internet, we always learn about being source critical. I think that's one of the most important things that I would like to point out, that it's very easy to craft a narrative about a good thing or a bad thing. But at the same time, we need to take responsibility, do the research. And now, at least on Discord, you can see that, hey, this person, they at least they own 3 Axies. At least they own 10 Axies. If they have a Mystic Axie, well, they've spent $100,000 or something on a game character here, or they should have a more deeper understanding of why did they make that decision. Now, that's really important for me, at least.
Definitely. Yeah, I'll also say that there you can actually, it's not just sometimes people might not have skin in the game. They might actually have skin against the game, where, right, like, you can actually bet against Axie Infinity's success, right, by shorting the Axis token, for example, shorting SLP, and then hiring people or creating bots to spread negative energy within the Axie ecosystem. This is actually something that, right, this is a new problem that has actually, most games have never witnessed before, right? So it's pretty cool. Like, I always love facing new problems, but sometimes they're a little bit right, they need to be communicated. People need to be educated on these things, because these are not things that are necessarily too intuitive.
Definitely. Speaking of intuitive, I love this question from one Redditor, Time Gambler. He says, he or she says, I was wondering, do your family members and non-Axie related friends understand the life-changing impact that you're having on the world in terms of touching millions of lives? I like this question a lot, and maybe I'll go first. No, my family doesn't really get it. No one else in my family owns cryptocurrency. They're happy that I'm happy, but they get the tip of the iceberg. They can see the look on my face when I start talking about it, but no, I don't think they really get it. I don't know that they're ever going to get it. And I've sort of given up trying to explain it to them. I'm spending my energy trying to explain it to people that are really engaged and trying to learn it. So I'm curious if you guys have sort of a similar experience. I mean, that was why meeting Jeff for the first time was so fun, because I finally had somebody to talk to in real life about all this Axie energy. I don't have any real life Axie friends in my day to day, you know?
You'll have many soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, Alex, go first. How is your family?
I mean, my family, yeah, they understand what's happening. I don't think anyone, I mean, okay, maybe I'll take that back. They might understand some numbers, but it's really weird, I think, to consider the implications of what it is that we're trying to achieve here. I mean, when we started Axie, we set out to build a game using NFTs because we felt that NFTs would really change the way that games are being played forever. And then we discovered that it's way more than that. This is actually about owning your game items and your digital identity for the long term. Like the game, the stories that you build inside these games, they should belong to the players themselves. I mean, I might say that I've played competitive Warcraft 3, Dota 2, but there's literally no proof of that. Other than some random, maybe Russian blog about like mentioning my nickname in 2005. So like this is history that I actually should own or have some proof of. And I think that's a lot of what we're trying to do here with Axie. And then it turns out that you can do a lot of other cool things too in terms of business model innovation and align the incentives for those who are playing the game and those who are developing the game. So what I've started to, we've said that Axie is a nation really a long time now, but I think it's starting to click a little bit when you see the numbers that are flowing inside the ecosystem. So when we say that there's over $2 billion worth of, NFTs that have been traded inside Axie, we say that, okay, the nation state of Axie is taking a tax rate on that, like, which is 4.25%. And the rest of that is being transacted between the players or the inhabitants of that nation. So when you then compare it to, for example, Norway or the US, like there's a lot of merchant activity that's happening there. There's a lot of economic activity, but the state is taking a massive amount of tax there. So I think that's a very elegant way of explaining it to people who have no idea what we're making. So we're making a nation. There's a lot of economic activity, and we are being incentivized because we can take a small cut on that. But of course, like it takes a long time for people to really understand and to grasp the potential of what's really happening here, because such a game at this scale has never been made. A lot of people have attempted to make it, but they haven't had the same level of infrastructure that we have available to us. And I think it's just incredibly exciting. And I'm not motivated by really money anymore like that.
Nice. Yeah, for me, I think like my Korean side of the family, they kind of understand a little bit more, right? Because the Koreans are a little bit more into crypto. So my cousins are starting to dabble, and